host and be doing most of the talking. So
here we go. It is this is a very special interview that we're gonna have. Of course, Miss Linnea Quigley has joined the Junkies to talk about Trash's Revenge. Before we get started, though, I just want to say, I know I just said this before we started recording, but it's an absolute pleasure to be able to speak with you. You were on a list of people that I like to speak with, my bucket list. You were definitely one of them. Bill Moseley was one, got him out of the way. So I just wanted to start by saying it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for taking the time out to speak with us, Linnea.
Oh, yes. I'm glad I had the time.
I know you're quite busy. And
Yes.
speaking of being quite busy, let's get right into Trash's Revenge. As you mentioned earlier, Rick, it is in the latest issue of the Indie Horror Junkie magazine. There's a 2-3 page spread on Trash's Revenge. But now we're going to hear it right from Linnea. Tell us about all that you can anyway. We like exclusives here. So, but tell us what you can.
Well, first off, it's not a sequel or anything like that. It's a standalone project, and it's really interesting because one of my favorite films is the one where the silent movie star, Sunset Boulevard, Lord Desmond wants to be famous, and she thinks she's famous, but they've kind of all like disbanded and they aren't with her anymore, the film community. So she thinks that if she does something, because she has 3 original canisters in her basement, and you can imagine the gore and the horrific things that happen when she opens these canisters just to get publicity, because she's vain, she's obsessed, and she wants fame.
kind of like a zombie version of Maxine, right?
Yeah, exactly. I haven't seen Maxine yet, but I will.
No spoilers.
No spoilers yet.
No.
No.
So how did this first start? I mean, where did this idea come from? How did the wheels get turning, and how did Dragon Studios get involved? And
well, they got involved first. Dragonflix Studios got involved first. They wrote it. I think it's been on the works for like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And then they contacted me. I've known them for, oh my God, before they were Dragonflix. So I've known them for 40 years or something like that. It's crazy. And they said, let's do something. And I said, this sounds great, because like I said, Sunset Boulevard is one of my favorite films.
How much input did you have on the script?
None. They wrote
Really?
it before I mean, I'm sure I'll have some, feedback, when we get on the set and stuff like that. But I'm producing it also, along with Beverly Hartley or Beverly Randolph.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Yeah. And she's in it.
Oh, she is. Okay. I see that you have a lot of returning actors and actresses as well. How'd that come about?
Well, we thought, why don't we see how many of the people from Return of the Living Dead could get in it? And, Tom signed on, John Philbin, Miguel Nunez. And it was like, wow, this is going to be really interesting. And even the paramedic, Drew.
Oh, nice. I even saw that you got the guy who did the score, too, the original guy who did the score.
Oh,
Yeah.
no way.
Yes, we did. So that's really cool.
Hide the enchiladas.
The what? Oh, yes.
So what? I mean, you're staying busy. What else? Are you working on anything else outside of Trash's Revenge?
Well, I've got a couple things on the burner right now. One is in Budapest, and it just depends if they get the money. Isn't that a current theme? If they get the money. I know Michael Berryman just filmed with them, and they wanted to see how that went. And then hopefully I'll be next to go over there.
Now,
And also, this has taken a lot of my time right now,
yeah.
producing this, and Return of the Living Dead also is got their own website now. I don't know the name of it because it's like brand new, but we're doing it right now. Beverly is actually doing it.
Wow.
Nice.
Beverly is very talented.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's smart too, because it just goes back to that fan base, and that's something that's really needed as a tool to connect with the fans in addition to social media, because not everybody does social media, but that doesn't mean that they don't want to hop online and have a different way to be able to stay in touch and see what's going on with you guys.
That's true. That's really true. And
No, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I was gonna talk about the Indiegogo. I know has that resolved their issue yet? I know there was a little issue with that.
I don't think it has yet, because for some reason, Living Dead Media thinks they own the rights or something, and it's just been like they keep like pulling the plug on it. But that's why we are getting our own website to regain our rights.
Huh.
Yeah.
What a crazy game.
Do you have any time frame as to when they're hoping to start rolling cameras on this?
Well, it's going to be probably with the stall right now next year, but we want to have it out for the 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
So, we have to like film like crazy.
When is the 40th anniversary exactly?
We're filming in the UK, in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
And maybe Romania, which would be really fun. I've never been there.
Oh, wow. If you film in Romania, you got to get Denise Duff involved too. She films there all the time.
Does she
Oh,
really?
that's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we
The
just saw her
subspecies,
at the base screams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. We could get her involved. I
I
like.
would love to see the two of you work together.
Oh, yeah. That would be amazing.
I think didn't we work together in Trophy Heads? But we didn't like work on the same day or something. I think she did.
I think you're right there. Yeah.
So on the same project, but you didn't have any scenes together.
We didn't have any scenes together. That was the bad part.
Yeah.
I
She
would love
films
to see
that.
the two of you together. I think that would be really rad.
Yeah. She does that subspecies series. They just did part 5. Ted Nicolau is the writer director of that. And they filmed, I think, the bulk, if not most all of it in Romania.
Rick can introduce you to him.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
That would be
love
awesome.
that.
I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Now-
So how's Florida?
Oh, Florida's hot.
Hot
Hot
and
and rainy.
humid and rainy and hot.
And hurricanes, maybe and maybe not. And I
We
know.
haven't had anything lately. We had a couple like semi-tropical storms, and there've been a lot of little
Yeah, there's
things.
a storm that came through last week and kind of went through Texas and through
Right.
Oh, I saw
Louisiana,
that.
but
Yes.
we got some tropical storms from it. Nothing bad, but some of them got.
It's been really hot here too, and the fires have been pretty close. A little
My
too
daughter-
close for comfort.
My daughter lives in California, and she told me that there was a fire that was about 20 minutes from her home that
Where
broke
does
out.
she live? I mean, like what area?
She lives in, it's called River Crossing, I think is what it is. She's about 5 hours outside of LA.
Okay,
Yeah,
so she's
point of view.
yeah. I don't know where that is. There's so many fires here. I'm sure somebody's setting them. I just have that feeling because there's too many, and it's happening when there's not lightning or
Right.
it's weird. It's just really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I got a question for you. There's a lot of young aspiring actors and filmmakers and the whole list of people, but I'm speaking mainly of actors, young actors that want to get into it on a serious level. And I myself, being 52, am just started this year and doing some acting. No formal training, but I
Wow.
just decided I wanted to do it. What's the best piece of advice that you could give to young and old aspiring actors?
Do extra work because you learn so much. That's my big thing. It's like if you're an extra, you can like watch what's going on, kind of like watch the actors, make contacts, and you just learn so much. It's better than an acting class a lot of times.
Did
Yeah.
did
Yeah,
you have any formal acting yourself?
I did. I went to Charles Conrad School and I learned a lot there. It was like the kind of acting he taught was like you're in the moment type stuff, like going off the other actor. Uh, and that was really important to me because I was a girl from Iowa that had no clue at all. And then I did extra work, but I learned a lot from the extra work.
Yeah, because you learn the lingo and the verbiage on set. You get to
Yeah.
learn whose job is what. And when somebody says something, like there's a reason they're saying it. Like it just gives you a clue of that environment and how to tune into it.
oh, so true.
I completely agree with that. And I believe in taking classes as well, too. There's so much value to that. Like you said, being present, just being and doing and being in the moment with your scene partner and being able to feed off of them and their energy, like having that kind of the ability to do that in a workshop setting with other actors. There's so much value to that because it almost becomes like a muscle memory when you're on set. You know how to respond and react because you've already put yourself in that situation. And at this point, you've got a boom here and lights here and a camera there. And it's like, you better know what's going on. So
I know. And then you have the clapboard up, and you're like, okay. Yes.
Yeah, my theory has been, and my thinking has been, I want to wear as many hats as possible in a film production setting. I want to be, I want to work as a PA. I want to help behind the cameras as much as I can. Not even for resume purposes, but to learn, just like you said, to see as being an extra, you can see everything that's going on, and to help out, it does, like Amy said, you learn the lingo, you see firsthand what's going on, and I think that's extremely important. And networking with people. I throw my name out there to any director with a new project, any casting calls. If I feel I can hit it, I'm hustling. I'm trying to get, as much, work as I possibly can. And you apparently have done something right because you have quite a long resume.
Yes, but I started when I was 16 or 17. I think I was 17 doing extra work. So, you're just starting. So yours will get long too.
Yeah.
Now, did you gravitate towards horror? Was that something that you wanted to do, or did it just kind of come your way and then it happened and then it took off?
It was something that I loved, but I must have had it on my mind because it
manifested it.
I manifested it. It seemed like they were doing a lot of the late 70s, early 80s horror films then. Like there were all these films about, kids smoking or having sex and then getting killed. And so I guess I could scream, I could run.
It was fun.
I would do something topless, so I was like the perfect person. Whereas the other girls were like, well, we're not going to do that, and I said, I will. Yeah.
Well, the 80s were to me, even today, the 80s were the best year for horror, and some of my favorite movies. I mean, that'll never be topped. So, I mean, that was the golden age of horror movies, as far as I'm concerned.
And so many projects that we do, or even, that I work on, like we're always trying to like pull in that 80s horror undertone and like give a little nod to it, show respect, because that is why we love horror and make horror films, because that's what we grew up on is you know, those 70s and 80s horror flicks. There's just something magical about them that's nostalgic and makes you just remember that time that was so simple versus the cookie cutter regurgitated films that you see over and over and over again. Now it seems like there's so many of us that just want to go back to the simplicity and the honesty of all the practical special effects and just the honest storytelling that was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was like just say Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They didn't have a bunch of money and they didn't have any star names or anything.
Anybody was ever going to see it.
Right.
Exactly, but it's like such a great film.
Yep.
Such a great film. I don't know if you could qualify that for that's late 70s, early 80s, I'd say.
Late 70s, yeah, but
most of us our favorite, like that's the first thing you think of.
For sure. Absolutely. I mean, think about how many remakes and stuff and sequels there have been to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and still to this day, the original is what holds the candle. You know.
Oh,
and those guys are still going to conventions, and
Yes.
people just love seeing them. I actually had the pleasure to work with John Dugan in 2022 on a project that we did. He came down here to Florida, and you know, we just like, he's the biggest sweetheart. We hit it off. We talk. If he's in town, I go pick him up from the airport and take him to his Airbnb. And Ed Neal, he's great. Those guys are just so
funny.
He is funny.
He is. I got to do a scene with him in a movie.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was so fun. It was so fun. He is great.
I think there's just a lot of respect for that era and those actors and those filmmakers, and someone like myself, like they're classics for me. And like any chance I get to watch them or work with them, for God's sakes, it's like, this is so cool.
It is. Yep. It is. And
that
film I did with Ed is on, I think it's on Tubi, called The Best Laid Plans.
Oh, I gotta check it out. The Best Little Plan.
Yeah, but we had a really long scene. But, you know, here we were like, you know, guerrilla filming. And this guy got mad that we were filming. It was like 1 a.m. or something. And he kicked us out of there. And, you know, we had this really long, funny scene, and it got cut a lot, unfortunately, because of that jerk.
Yeah. That's the essence of indie filmmaking. I mean, my very first feature film that I ever made when I was in my, you know, late 20s, I got Tom Savini involved. He was in front of the camera. He did special effects, and I was also working with Brink Stevens in that film as well. And I've known Brink now for 20 plus years, and we've shot 2 or 3 films together. So she's an absolute doll. I love Brink to death.
She is. She really is. She's I used to get mad when people would call me Trooper, but she is a trooper.
She is. How many films have you made with her?
I haven't counted, but I would say probably 8. She's going to be in the we're doing, after Trash's Revenge, Cooking with Linnea, and she's going to be in that.
Oh, nice. Is that part of that Rocky Horror Cooking?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
I definitely want to learn more about that as well.
Yes.
Yeah, we got to promote that.
That's going to be fun. And this one that I'm doing, Trash's Revenge, is got singing and dancing and all kinds of stuff. It'll be really interesting.
Are you singing?
So borderline
No,
music?
I'm not singing, unfortunately.
I'm going to write it in.
Unfortunately, they're going to like lip sync most of the people. They'll have like professional singers, because the people that we're getting aren't professional singers.
Oh, I gotcha.
But they're going to have to dance a little.
I like that.
There you go.
I know. Oh my God.
You did some dancing in the original Return of the Living Dead on the tombstones, right?
I did a little dancing in that. Yes, a little 2-step. Right.
What were you going to ask, Otis?
I was going to ask about conventions were brought up. Are you on the convention circuit? And where can people meet you and hang out?
Okay, I go to New Jersey, the New Jersey Horror Con next, which is the first part of August. Then I go
That's always a big one.
The what?
That's a big one.
That is a big one. And then I have one in Massachusetts, then one in Arizona, one in New Mexico. I get to go to Manchester, England. So I've got like quite a few lined up.
Yeah, you're making your rounds. That's fantastic.
I had a couple weeks off. I'm like, yes.
So well, those are long days when you're sitting and signing. I mean, it really is for the fans, and it's such a cool way to connect with the actors that we love. But that's a long day. It's a long weekend. Sometimes it's 2-3 days, and it takes a toll. But as far as connecting with the fans, there's no better way.
That's very true. You get to hear their stories and meet them, and it's really fun. It's really fun.
Yeah, I love.
I would say I like the 2-day ones. They're starting to know that Sundays aren't great days.
Right.
Sundays die off anyways. Everybody's packing up halfway through.
Oh, I know. So they're making them, Friday and Saturdays a lot, which I really appreciate because you're like, oh my God, the third day you're like exhausted from traveling and talking. And
I got a question for you.
I went to a con not that long ago, and my wife met Kane Hodder, and we actually did it on a Sunday because all the lines were so long, so short. Because Sunday everybody's done and came in. They may have a 1-day pass for Friday or Saturday, and they come in. They're just there to meet celebrities. Sunday, hardly anybody. Went right through.
So that's the way to do it. Either Friday night, because people are getting off work, or Sundays. Yes.
Yeah, because Saturday's usually the crazy day. But I do have a question for you.
Yes.
One of the things that I've noticed, and I've talked to a lot of people about it, as far as their films, when they have those cult films like Return of the Living Dead goes, when you've made your appearances at some of the festivals, a lot of times people or fans or whatever it is will bring the stars, like something they made or something unique or whatever it is that that they made for that film. What is the craziest or most unique item that you've ever received from a fan?
Oh boy, I was thinking that the other day, and I thought of what it was, and now I can't remember. But people tattooing themselves with like images is like one of the weirdest things for me.
No,
for real.
But people have like done like beautiful, huge paintings, and not on Return of the Living Dead, but somebody made a nipple, like kind of like artwork thing that was really cute with the lipstick in it. There's so many things. It's crazy that they bring.
That's to me is the imagination that some people do, and obviously it stems from their love of you and that film or whatever it is that got them to create that. Because sometimes you hear the coolest, craziest things that they've made. So that's amazing.
Yes.
Very cool.
Amy, do you have anything you want to ask? I know that we're right around a 20-30 minute time frame that we have. Do you have anything that you would like to add as we wind down?
So within the horror genre, what was your most memorable film that you did? I think we probably all know the answer to this, but maybe we don't, because you've had a lot of experiences. And what was it about it that made it so special to you?
I think Return of the Living Dead, because physically and mentally it was very hard to do with the rain machines being freezing, being buried in mud, being painted white, and having it not come out in the shower because it was like waterproof against the rain. And then seeing the reaction of people and seeing the music they put in it. It was just like it was very special to me.
Very cool.
Yeah, let me ask you about this.
I was saying, I love that you have the artist who was the original, who did the original score coming in on this project that you have. So if you love the music and you get to revisit that, I think that's really special all in itself.
Yes.
So with regards to that, kind of piggybacking off of what Amy just said there, a lot of times you'll hear from people where they talk about when they made this movie, they had no idea that while they were doing it, that it was going to become the cult phenomenon that it was. Did you guys have that sense when you were making that you were making something really cool? Or did you think this is just going to be a flash in the pan kind of thing and on to the next project?
Oh, we thought it was a flash in the pan. We didn't know if anybody would see it, if it was making any sense. We had the producers like saying, come on, you've got to, get it done now. And, you're running out of money. And we didn't know if we, did something that was totally awful. We didn't know. We never
awesome.
thought it was going to be brilliant, which it was.
Now people are still watching it. New generations are watching it and loving it.
I know. We thought it was great. Yes, which is great. That's why it's one of my favorites too.
Very cool. Well, we thank you very much for taking the time out for us. Is there any particular link? I mean, I know you said there's a new link going up for Return of the Living Dead, but you're not sure of what it is yet.
I'm going to put it on my website, the Linnea-Quigley.com. That's my website. And I'm going to put the link on there as soon as I get it.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect.
And then like I said, buy from us.
Absolutely. And I'm going to send you a copy, a PDF version, a digital version of the latest issue. So you'll see the write-up that I did. I'll send that to your email. So you look for an email from me with that, and you'll have that. So.
Oh, great. I am so happy. And stay cool down there.
Oh,
absolutely. You too as well. Stay out of the fires, okay?
I will. All
right. Thanks, Linnea. You take care.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye now.